Hello, I'm Dr. Darryl Cross. I'm a clinical and organisational psychologist, and I'm also an internationally accredited executive and personal coach. A number of years back, I happened to see quite a number of business people who were presenting as depressed. Some of them were referred in by their general practitioner, their local doctor. Others were referred in by other coaches who didn't have a psychology background. But I gained this sense that something was happening in the business world where people were feeling under stress and under pressure. And I decided to research this whole thing called depression. And so I eventually wrote the book after a good deal of research over a couple of years. And this book is on depression in the workplace, and I titled it The Dark Clouds at Work. The subtitle is How to Manage Depressed Staff in the Workplace whilst Increasing Morale and Productivity. This is an important concept to understand because depression is on the increase, and the data shows us that 70% of depressives work. So there are going to be depressives in the workplace that managers need to understand, that supervisors need to understand, as well as HR directors and consultants. I've said on the back cover, you will discover the direct and hidden costs of depression in the workplace. You'll discover the causes of depression and why it's increasing, sadly so. Who is at risk for depression? How can you identify depression and how can it be treated? How do you recognise depression in the workplace? Really important to understand how to recognise those signs. How to set up a healthy work culture that is preventative, and wouldn't we like that? An effective model for managers and supervisors in order to intervene. What to do if you believe your co-worker is depressed. More to the point, what do you do if you think the boss is depressed? What to do when a crisis erupts, and sometimes it does. And what are the consequences of not intervening? A number of people across the globe have been able to read this book and have given positive feedback on its contents and what it had to offer. Tanya Chapman, for example, from Mindshop International at Atlanta, Georgia in the US says, "Depression is a growing global issue that at some point we will all encounter, whether in the workplace or in our personal lives. It is a difficult topic to approach in any setting. Dr. Cross does a fantastic job of breaking it down into easy to understand solutions for managers." Phil Gosling from Disley in the United Kingdom, a town near Manchester, says this, "I have personal experience of how depression can affect people at all levels of business, including the very top, sometimes without them even realising they have it. As a professional speaker, motivator, business owner and writer, I believe Dr. Cross's book should not only be up there in the must-haves of every business owner's bookshelf, but actually in their hands, reading it." So I encourage you to purchase a copy of the book. A hard copy you can get through Amazon.com, or you can get an immediate download by going to my website, drdarryl.com, or to the website for the book itself, which is depressionatwork.com. And once you've read the book, I would very much appreciate feedback from you via email or any way that you would like. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, and I'd really like to know what you think about this book.